This is the exact example of what not to do. Do the opposite of what Bob did. Coach Greg, and don't you just love it when fake natties out themselves without even realizing it? Well, Brownie's friend Bob lost 10 kilograms, 22 pounds of muscle in only 100 days. What was the cause of it? Well, he tore his bicep. He tried to do a one-arm chin-up. The guy's in amazing shape. And tore his bicep. During this off period, he lost about 10 kilograms of muscle while reducing his body weight. In other words, he gained fat and lost muscle at the same time. This is a guy who trained his entire life. 37 years of age. He looks natural. Of course, you're all going to say, Coach Greg, you're wrong. Look at his physique. You can achieve that natural. Well, if you can achieve that natural, can you in fact lose it naturally? And I'm telling you, you can't. You can't lose 22 pounds of muscle in 100 days from not working out. And on top of that, he didn't actually stop working out. He still trained his legs. And so think of it. Use your deductive reasoning. Please listen carefully to the message that's being provided. Read between the lines.
What if you lost all your muscle that you worked for your entire life just like that?
Do you lose all of the muscle that you built in your entire life in 100 days? Imagine if that were true. Oh, but Coach Greg, you're wrong. He tore his bicep. It's a serious injury. That's why he lost all this muscle. It's not like he just stopped working out. Exhibit A, Exhibit B. Torn both of my triceps in 2 separate bike accidents. Broken elbows with triceps detached from the bone. Just as bad or arguably worse than his bicep injury. And you've been watching me make YouTube videos this entire time. Did anyone notice I lost 22 pounds of muscle? No, perhaps 2, maybe 3 pounds. And so why is that? Well, I wonder why. Do you wonder why? Do you want to speculate? Do you think there's a chance that after he tore his bicep, he stopped taking supplements? And that's why he lost all this muscle? Because seems to me if you're on performance-enhancing drugs and stop them suddenly and stop working out, and you combine those factors at the same time, then that could explain losing all that muscle. Because I'm here to tell you that no one, I repeat, no one, is going to lose 10 kilograms of muscle by not working out for 100 days. It's simply not possible. What's more likely, that he lost all the muscle he put on in his entire life in a matter of months and regained it in a few months after? Or that he was using performance-enhancing drugs.
I'm happy that we're finally going to be getting back up, getting a bit bigger. For weeks, maybe months, I didn't even look at myself in the mirror. I was wearing shirts like this. I couldn't cope with it, I think, mentally.
Really? Sounds a little bit like body dysmorphia, when you see a reflection in the mirror that doesn't represent what you truly look like. Does anyone think the guy looks bad? Before and or after? Doesn't look bad at all. In fact, I'm sure many of you wish you even had his after physique, after losing all that muscle.
A few days later, he got surgery, and they told him he can't work out for quite some time.
And so here's the truth. Just because you have an injury doesn't mean you have to completely stop working out. Case in point, I've been injured a number of times. Do you really think I just stopped working out? My right arm's in a cast, tricep torn off the bone. Had an operation. Do you really think I stopped going to the gym, or do you think I'm going to the gym doing the best I can? Even I never lost 10 kilograms of muscle. And so how did he?
He has lost over 10 kilograms of muscle and gained a bit of fat.
And so if you think of it, he actually gained fat, and so he was in a calorie surplus. aka bulking. He was taking in additional calories. And probably what happened is he didn't actually eat more, he just burnt off fewer calories. The net result, a calorie surplus. And so despite the fact he was in a calorie surplus, as evidenced by increasing body fat, his weight, the actual amount he weighed on a scale, it went down. And so he was quite literally losing muscle at a greater rate than the fat he was accumulating from his surplus of calories. And the net result, he got skinnier and fatter at the same time. He lost 4 centimeters, that's getting close to 2 inches, on his non-injured arm. This is the exact example of what not to do. Do the opposite of what Bob did. He hurt his left bicep. Should that affect the size of your right arm? He lost 2 inches on his arm in 100 days. Probably never heard of cross-education. Perhaps Brownie could explain it in his next video. Essentially, cross-education is when you train one side of the body, it also gives you benefits to the other side of the body. And so in training one side of the body while the other's injured, it allows you to come back quicker and lose less muscle during your off phase when you're injured. And so rather than avoiding training altogether, if you continue to train your uninjured body parts, in a matter of 100 days, you might only lose a couple couple of pounds. Man, you would have to have some super unfortunate genetics to lose that much muscle in only 100 days. See, someone is thinking they called it genetics. That's a nice way of saying, hey, you probably stopped taking PEDs. I mean, really, Brownie's reading this. He doesn't want to accuse his friend of being on PEDs. Of course he doesn't. You got to understand, that's very hard to bring up that topic. Hey, did you actually stop taking something during this process? Because how do you explain losing 22 pounds? No, and I repeat, no one's losing 22 pounds of muscle in 100 days if they're training natural. It's not going to happen. And the guy kept training his legs. It's not like he laid in bed all the time, did nothing. He didn't completely give up life. He was still training his legs. And so how could he possibly lose all that muscle?
Let's see how these measurements change and how much muscle memory will help.
And so obviously when you get back to training, something known as muscle memory is going to take place. You gain the muscle quite literally faster than last time. When you first join the gym, there's something known as newbie gains. You're going to gain a lot of muscle very quickly. But if you stop going to the gym and completely detrain, don't train for 6 months, and you again retrain, it's going to come back faster than last time. Your body, it remembers how to build that muscle. It's almost as though it's practiced before. And so muscle memory is a real thing. And so I would expect he can regain the muscle very quickly, especially if he re-adds in the PEDs. Imagine having muscle memory and PEDs and starting a new training program after a 100-day layoff. You could gain a ton of muscle.
Hopefully all of this will help with goal 3, his mental strength and self-image. He's only been wearing oversized t-shirts to not have to see his body change.
And those of you with body dysmorphia, struggling with your body image and you can't stand the way you look, do you think it's more likely for them to use performance-enhancing drugs? Picture it. If you already like the way you look, why would you take performance-enhancing drugs? But on the opposite extent, if you don't like the reflection in the mirror, you're suffering from body dysmorphia, you're not happy with your appearance, you're covering yourself in clothing because you hate yourself that much, does it not make more sense that that person would more likely resort to PEDs? So really analyze these things, think about it. And so can you really blame someone if they're suffering from mental health, body dysmorphia, if they resort to taking PEDs? Imagine how hard it is to go every single day hating your appearance and knowing that you can take something to dramatically improve it.
So what can Bob win? Previous contestants have won prizes from $500 to $10,000 to a dream holiday. So Bob can win.
Every time I watch these challenges, there's extrinsic or external motivation. Why not do it for you? And so he doesn't need this. He doesn't need to win money, a dream trip, vacation, a car. He just wants his old physique back. Is that not motivation enough?
And Bob already smashed the goal because he just did his first push-ups again.
And so realistically, he should have no difficulty doing push-ups whatsoever. Consider he tore his biceps. The biceps are not the muscle being worked on during a push-up. During a push-up, it's mostly the triceps, the shoulders, the chest, not so much the bicep. And so I was fully expecting him to be able to perform push-ups this quickly after an injury. And if you don't want to experience all this muscle loss, I highly suggest that you keep training your uninjured body parts when you're injured. You can still do cardio and train the uninjured body parts. Just be sure to perform the exercises under strict control using time under tension and not ego lifting. The last thing you want to do is go for a 1 rep max, PRs, or to train harder than last time. It's not the time for that. This is the time to perhaps deload or just to maintain what you already have. Once you've recovered from the injury, you can then slowly get back into your old style of training.
So Bob goes 110% in his first workout again, and as you can expect, he feels like he just worked out for the first time in his life.
And so don't take on too much too quickly. You don't want to get hurt, injured, and if you're this sore after you train, you've done too much.
And I am so sore. I've done 2 full upper body days right now. I'm supposed to go again today, but yeah, there's no way.
And so if he hadn't taken all that time off while he was injured, resting, watching Netflix, losing 22 pounds, getting fatter, he could have been training and he wouldn't be experiencing this right now. He did it all wrong, people. I just want to help you.
I did not hear from Bob for quite some time. No updates, no progress photos or videos. So I asked, how is it going? And Bob mentioned that he feels like there hasn't been much progress since day 15. And he did not sound too positive or even motivated.
And so this is my problem. I made so many videos about this. People's expectations, they're ridiculous. He trained and was making gains for 15 days, and then it slowed down a little bit, and he got highly discouraged.
I would say the gains that I was getting in the first 2 weeks didn't continue that way.
It's because you're expecting too much. And so if you're expecting to gain all this muscle, 10 pounds in the first month, and you don't, what do you think people resort to using? Of course, PEDs.
Did you skip leg day?
Yes. At some point I was so happy I was allowed to train upper body again that I kind of felt like, oh, I'll do legs next week.
He also still made leg gains, which is interesting.
59.
And so explain how your legs could get smaller while you were injured while increasing body fat while training them, aka you're in a calorie surplus as evidenced by increasing body fat, but now without training your legs and while eating in a deficit, as in you're not eating enough food to increase body fat, you're not at a bulk, you're not even gaining, you're losing fat at this point, but yet your quads got bigger. And remember, you don't have to take supplements, but I do have a variety of supplements that can make a significant difference on your performance to help you build muscle, to sprint faster, to get leaner. For example, EctiBuilder, which has a variety of ectosteroids shown in human studies to increase muscle size and strength. Also, GO2 Max, it has the main ingredient, NMN, shown to increase NAD+ levels. And of course, if you don't have any money, you can get my free training and diet program. All you have to do is click the link in the description, write in your name, first and last, and your email, and bam, you got it all free. And of course, as always, the cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, and my clothing line. Subscribe, click the bell button, like the video if you liked it, watch the bloops, follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IFBB Pro, and until next time, I am out.